Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hearthstone again. I don't know if I can do a full recording session here because I don't have that much to talk about. But let's see, we need at least 5 victories with the Druid and then 2 more victories. That seems to be all we need. This is the same Tavern Brawl, yes. So we can now just run into, let's see. Do we want to play ranked or... Well, we're still trying to end the month here. Let's play Druid, Wild, again. I probably shouldn't even play ranked. I probably should just give up at this point. But whatever. So, it seems like there's been some attempt of a DDoS against Blizzard because for the past week or so, the news has not loaded half the time when I launch Hearthstone, but it doesn't seem like it's actually affecting gameplay that much.
Your soul shall be mine! I must protect the
Sadly,
wild.
because the last recording session landed on that Thursday, it is now a position where it's Sunday because, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to be more accurate, is the next 3 days of the next 3 quests. So Saturday and Sunday happening, everybody tends to shut down and not actually announce anything or do anything on the weekend. So there was really only one day, a Friday, worth of news. I wish the world was more like 7 days a week for a lot of things.
Get it out! Get it out!
But even I, on my channel, follow that same logic. I give the weekends off. I don't post videos. I could certainly, but I don't see a real reason to. And plus there's like no way to catch up. That was probably a waste of a card. So what do I want to talk about as I'm looking at my very widely written list of topics that did happen? It's not very many. The problem with this board, more and more I use it, the more I realize it's like either you're benefited by not a lot of news, which means you have nothing to talk about, or you have enough news to talk about, and then you have to write in tiny text, which isn't super easy on this thing. I guess I should just start with the things I did in the past 3 days. And sadly, it's not to say a lot as far as recording. So I started recording Anna's Quest. And the problem with Anna's Quest is F9 and F10 are quick load and quick save. And so I said, fine, I'll just move that to the minus and the plus buttons directly below it. Because in the setup, it certainly didn't say that anything like that there was anything connected to those. That system. It specifically said there was no item.
For the wild.
Let's see. I'm just gonna go ahead and deal with it. So I set it to minus and plus. Halfway through recording the entire series, so halfway through the game of Anna's Quest, which Anna's Quest itself is proving to, while be a childish theme, is probably not a kid's point-and-click adventure game because it gives you far too many items to interact with and far too many rooms to walk in for what should be a lot simpler a puzzle. Real easy when I first played it to wander around. But like halfway through recording it, every time I hit the minus button, the volume went down. Apparently the plus button wasn't counterbalancing that enough. Or maybe it was, but the truth of the matter is when I stop a recording,
Bathe in flames.
I have a tendency to jam on the, well, that would be the plus button. More than when I start a recording, when I stop a recording, I have a tendency to
For the
jam on the
wild.
button many times to try and stop it. Make sure it latches in. The OBS remote is almost instantaneous, but if my phone, which the OBS remote is running off of, happened to crash at that second, or it was just being slow through the internet for some reason, then you may get a slight delay. So yeah, the recordings just got quieter and quieter, and because it was basically like boiling a frog or a lobster, I simply didn't notice that the audio was getting quieter and quieter until it went all the way down to 0. So let's go ahead and switch back now to standard. Third standard. Now I should have noticed that, and I kind of did think in the back of my head, man, she is quiet, but it's a little girl as the main character, and I thought, oh yeah, she is supposed to be quiet. Now I've got it. Now that I've started re-recording the game a little bit, and now it's just like this accelerated pace going through the game because I already know what to do, and I'm just
I will fight with honor.
skip
I
the
must
things. It's a
protect
very
the wild.
not first look way to play a game, and we certainly, when you see a lot of like professional video game review people, they're giving notes and they know exactly what to do when they're playing a game anyway, so it feels a lot more like that than an actual honest, this is my first going in blind experience. But yeah, so I had to start over from scratch, and now I got it a little too loud, and I got a couple of recordings there, but I lost an entire day's worth of work. The next day I decided that I was going to try and work on my Lego Ghostbuster house some more, try to power through that and finish it. And while I haven't quite finished it, I think if I put a second day worth of work into it and finish it, I will, although that's not my initial goal. It's not like I'm planning on doing that tomorrow or later today. Who knows, it may happen, but that's not my goal. But yeah, I just want to finish it, get it done, because while I could sit back and break it up as a reward between many games, since it's taking me about a week to record one game, it would take me probably 14 weeks plus to get the whole thing finished, and I think that's too much time.
For the wild.
The other thing I've been doing is watching a lot of Netflix. As my back has been hurting, it has completely thrown off my sleep schedule like crazy. So I wake up, like last night I woke up or this morning I woke up at like 3, and I'm thinking to myself, do I try to go back to sleep or do I start recording there at 3 in the morning? Which I'm not even sure I could play Hearthstone at 3 in the morning and have the third thing. So I started watching Kill la Kill, which is an adult anime, but not really. And I found it quite enjoyable. I wish a different studio had made it though.
What?
Better, like,
For the
animation
wild.
graphics. And it's just a general silly funny thing, and I'm probably reviewing something everybody already knows about, but I've been out
Reporting for duty.
of the aspect of watching any anime for a long time, so. And that even if I do want to watch something, I have a tendency to just want to watch the old things that I watched before. It's very much a used to be a fan thing.
Bathe in flames.
So, the other thing I did though, the only other thing I really recorded since last recording, I suppose, is there's this point-and-click adventure made by Adventure Game Creator. The article I saw that mentioned it said it was Scum-esque, and it is Scum-esque, but it doesn't use the script creation for utility for Maniac Mansion, which I always have to spell it out, because if I just say Scum, half the people in the conversation won't know what that is. I want to look here on the settings too. Options. Nope. Not here. There's a broadcast to Facebook button that Blizzard just installed.
Move quickly.
And I was thinking about playing with it, but there's a lot of caveats to thinking about playing with it. Because if I'm streaming straight to Facebook, I probably have no control at all of the video. I can't edit anything, which on rare occasions is necessary. But if Facebook tells me I got 1 million views from the streaming, I shouldn't believe it. So even if I did get 1 million views, what they call view is nothing, and it's just a lot. So yeah, you can't go down the Facebook video avenue, unfortunately. Let's see. Discover
Where shall I strike?
Alright. There we go. So yeah, I was just trying to see if like you could start streaming from inside a thing, which you can't. Maybe there's a quick key they didn't mention, but yeah, never going down the Facebook thing. Anyway, so I started recording this demo for Stranger Things. It's like a one-screen point-and-click adventure based on Stranger Things. I have half a thought that it's actually viral marketing. It seems a little strange. There's been no content ID on the music of it. It seems really weird, but whatever. I'll deal with that if that happens, and I won't worry about it until it does happen. Plus 4 health and a taunt. So yeah, I did this video. It wasn't very long. Now, I did get one feedback from my artist person who watched some of it and said the intro was too long. And yeah, I did talk about how this game starts at like 320 by 200, which is a ridiculously low resolution, and how you need to set it up. Maybe I agree that some of my intros at the beginning of all series are too long. It's always talking about the settings. It's always going about and talking about how to get it to run. Particularly in games that give you trouble installing them or running them, it's always that. And
Let me think.
the amount of delay before you actually hop into the game is close to 0 seconds. And I know this, and yet I, like a lot of YouTubers, like maybe even most YouTubers, fall into the mistake of not heeding that.
Reporting for
lose
duty.
again. I think we're going to casual, if they say.
Elune, guide my lance.
So, like, if you get 2 mana crystals this turn, that'll be the right.
For the wild.
So, I am heavily considering from now on, whenever I start recording a series, if there's anything to talk about, putting it at the end. It's just to jump people into the action a little bit, and of course keep it as much in my mind as possible to keep the intro short, because yeah, alright, I get that. That being said, that's just one
Back
person's
to your homes.
opinion. And speaking of my artist, I have
Reporting for duty.
reached or scheduled up to Hearthstone level 500. He gave me 1,000 thumbnails for Hearthstone, but it's with a logo that's a year old now, and I never got any other thumbnails for any other game. So it was only Hearthstone that was there. So because of that, at 500, that'll come near the end of the year, and I decided to just stop using it.
In the grand tournament, you win or you die.
See, now if I get an extra mana thing here, I don't get excessive mana. So that was a waste to play that card.
For the wild.
I'm about to lose this. Job done. So I'm back to where I was when I first started my channel. No real channel art. As far as thumbnails, thumbnails certainly very, very important, because frankly, if I do One Night in Karazhan and I put nothing on it, it looks like playing Hearthstone. Thousands and thousands of videos of other people playing Hearthstone, they all look exactly the same in a small thumbnail. If I put the One Night in Karazhan logo that Hearthstone uses, which is what I am doing, at least it has big text that says One Night in Karazhan on it. Although, still, hundreds and hundreds of people doing One Night in Karazhan are going to see that. Plus, that for the 10 videos I do there, if they're just seeing the thumbnail and not the text, they all look the same. So how do you know if you've watched that video or not? And then each thumbnail needs to be its own unique identifier from every other video that is anywhere close to it on YouTube. So they absolutely need, I need an artist who can personalize it with a logo, who can put big text and explain what it is. And certainly I don't have that now. Alright. So it's really not even a difference of changing from wild to standard. It's simply just going to casuals. Last resort I can do here to try and actually get some victories. It would be great to get an artist right about now, somebody who is much more capable of actually producing art, because this video is probably coming out somewhere around the new year, 2017, and that would be a perfect time. It is a slightly demanding job.
Knowledge is power.
Because
I must protect the wild.
it requires probably like staying up to date with what games I covered. It's not too hard to delegate a YouTube channel to somebody and say, look, you can see these videos and you can see what's getting things, or I can just email you the list on my Google document and you can see the games. But it is 6 or 7 games every month pretty much that need 25 thumbnails that you need to make a template out of. Although, so really it's only about 5 templates a month, which really isn't that much. But it would be certainly a thankless job too, because I still get to get paid from YouTube, and I wouldn't be surprised if I don't see that for another 6 weeks or 6 months. And even if I get my first $100 for what I believe is now 2 years of doing this, I really can't turn around and hand that $200 to that $100 to someone else. I can certainly boost somebody's.
Bathe in flame.
I can promote somebody's artwork. Speaking of promoting someone's artwork, Captain Sparkles is promoting his own artwork, his own music. He made this really dumb video where he was investigating himself as to whether this channel that he made is his channel or somebody else's channel, full of his music that he has used on his videos. It's just really stupid, long drawn out way to promote himself. The more and more I look at the big time people on YouTube, the more and more I think these people have got some kind of secret help somewhere, and they've gotten too big for the band. Is what I'm feeling like. That they're all trying to go in different directions. They're all trying to be actors. They're all trying to be.
Can I light your fire?
There's only one person that I would even think is sort of keeping it real that I watch regularly, and they're not a video game critic anyways, so
I must safeguard the land.
so frankly I may be proven wrong very quickly here about that person too.
Feel my wrath.
So, but I've had this. Captain Sparkles always feels, even as soon as I started watching him about 1.5 years ago, he always felt like he was selling himself completely. That he was trying to make himself a product, and we know that because he sells Captain Sparkles toys and t-shirts and stuff like crazy. Frankly, he's not that interesting a person. He just got lucky. He got lucky, and he's not hideous to look at. That's about it.
For the wild.
There was another one. Let's see if I can remember her name. Oh, there's a few YouTubers. There's this one that was on like America's Got Talent that does ballet and plays the violin, and she's certainly milked her ability, which she certainly does have. See, I got an extra thing, but that doesn't actually help anything.
Job done.
But I'm still subscribed to her, I think, but I don't watch any of her videos because it's the same thing over and over again. And she was always trying to like lock into the geek culture and do Legends of Zelda things, and I'm not sure she was particularly into any of that stuff. The straw that broke the camel's back there was she did one that was like a giant robo anime style thing, and you thought, oh well, she's gonna get away from it. She's just gonna play the violin, which she is skilled at, and she's not gonna do any dancing while playing the violin, which is crazy. She would probably be a lot better violinist if she simply just stood still, although I can't tell the difference. I'm sure other people can.
Behold the rage of the Firelands!
So let's see.
For the wild. Job done.
I guess I shouldn't have done that right then, but whatever. So I figured she was gonna do it in an animated style.
Pay attention, class.
It would totally make sense, and it started that way, but nope, she breaks out and she's a live action character.
Let's
like,
make magic.
Come on, we don't need to see this every time. But it's like every single video. So I'm done with that. There's another one. My Hannah Hart. And Hannah Hart started off doing My Drunk Kitchen, cooking, and I was like, all that stuff. That's fun. I'll watch this. And then she quickly fell out of actually doing that and went on a bus tour and started working with another YouTuber I never even watched to make movies and promoting a book
We
she
have
wrote.
many secrets.
At least in comparison,
I am ready to learn.
Geek and Sundry person in charge, what's her
I am
name?
ready to learn.
She was doing the guild, I think, because she was doing anything else and acting before anything else. So, at the very least, I knew she was gonna focus on that and eventually write a book, and she did. So, but I wasn't. It didn't feel like she was selling out as much as she was fulfilling what she had always planned on doing.
For the
anyways.
wild.
Now, the weird thing about Geek and Sundry is it's owned by Lionsgate. So, and it's completely changed to the point where the two big draws of the girl, which I wish I could remember their names, and Will Wheaton was on the tabletop show, which hasn't come back. I heard something that he was having some kind of physical ailment or health problems of some sort. But I wouldn't be surprised if it just got canceled. Yeah, I'm not gonna win here. Again.
For the wild.
So you've been playing deck control there. But yeah, neither one of them have been around, and it's the same, which is weird because it's also the Nerdist YouTube channel, which is that guy that is on Nerdist and everything. He particularly hasn't been doing too much with that channel either, and they're both owned by Lionsgate, so it's actually clearly, when you do the research, that both of the two biggest channels on YouTube that are focused around geek culture are actually owned by a production company, and it's just as huge. We're gonna sell to them. We're gonna sell to them. From day one, you were being lied to if you thought for a second that it was anything other than marketing and advertising, and that's kind of a problem with YouTube, that those things, if you throw enough money at them, get lifted to the top. Plus, they were certainly promoted by YouTube themselves. Furthermore, it's really the worst example of this is you can see like Vimeo. Vimeo has like total control of all the music on YouTube for no reason. Vimeo should be at the bottom. Honestly, if I wanted to listen to music, I would go to Spotify or Google Music or something else. I wouldn't do Vimeo. I wouldn't be on YouTube itself. So yeah, that's kind of a rantish thing. I didn't cover that much, and here I'm in another thing I shouldn't have started. So I do have enough to talk about. Continue.
I will fight with honor.
YouTube in general,
the
more people I watch, the more the people fall out. Except for one person, I guess there's this one guy that goes by the name Pyro, who is a Minecraft guy from Minecraft. For the past 2 years that I've been following him, so pretty much the whole time I started doing this channel, I've kind of followed him and seeing what his trajectory. I mean, he's got a lot of breaks because he was in Minecraft when it was growing bigger, although at this point I'm not sure it is really growing any bigger. I suppose I'm also in the same way watching OMG Chad, who kind of got a break and then kind of lost his break. But Pyro's been always, he does these vlogs and you get to know him a little bit better, and he's always been this hippy dippy kind of depressive person. Talks a lot about mindful meditation and all of that, and I think it probably, if I was going to armchair analyze him, is because he suffers from this. And almost all of his vlogs in the past year have been about him talking about how he's thinking about getting a job and how he's not getting enough views and all this and all that. You know what? It's probably true. If my experience is 1/10 of what his experience is, where videos now get maybe 1 or 2 or 3 views if they're lucky. Yeah, it's probably true that he's not doing much better. I think the one little difference between the two of us is that I pour out a ton of videos where he pours out practically none. So yeah, that's also a consideration that you should make, but yep. So eventually, his latest videos, he's like, well, I think I'm gonna get a job. He's been saying for a year. Whatever, I mean, fine, give up. I've seen it in several YouTubers where they just give up after a year or something. And to compare that, the one person that I watched recently that went to 1 million specifically said it took him 10 years to get there. Now, that's not a goal I would particularly want to shoot for, but if it's the truth of the situation, it's a goal I can live with, or at least I feel I can live with it. Let's see. Go ahead and just end the turn. So, of course, there's no guarantee that going for 10 years will get you 1 million viewers, but that would be nice. And at least it's not 20. At least it's not 15 years to get to 1 million. And this person who got to 1 million, he also has...
Behold the rage of the Firelands!
He also has been, I think, successfully living off his income a lot earlier than that. So I don't feel like It was just he's still struggling. In fact, he's the same person that may be going Hollywood because he's moving, and we'll see what happens there. Maybe he's going Hollywood, maybe he's just moving. I really shouldn't have started recording that. So, I still have to persevere personally. I wish I could. Didn't have to. Frankly, I desperately need to buy a new bed, and I'm not financially capable of doing that. I don't know if I talked about this, but I have like 3 old, worn-out mattresses stacked on top of each other that are of different sizes. So it's like 2 fulls on the bottom, and well, 1 full, 1 futon mattress that's effectively a full, and then a queen on top, and no box springs, and it's barely giving me enough cushioning for my bad back, and I'm effectively always falling off of this thing.
I must move quickly
because there's just no bed frame or anything. So I desperately need to find a bed, and I wish I could just go get a job somewhere and get money and pay for it, which all of those are certainly easy to say and harder to do in this economy and in this world, but impossible for me to do because I still live with a disabled family member that's taking all of my extra time and needs me to be around non-stop to make sure they are alright. So, yeah. So YouTube is the only thing I think I can do, and I can barely even keep up with that recording. Here I'm gonna lose again. I imagine what's gonna happen is I'm gonna get 3 recordings here and not get a single victory. There's no real reason to change between wild and standard decks. They're effectively the same deck for Druid, and I have to get Druid victories for at least 5 of the victories. I could get 2 victories on something else, but it doesn't really matter. I can already kind of feel I'm going to spend the rest of the day playing this, so that's yet another half day at least of work to that's going to be wasted. Here it is, 2 p.m. I had started recording at 1:30 and I got up at like noon.
Nothing scares
The second time.
except mice.
I got up the first time at 3. I'm thinking about making like an Excel sheet of all the times that would be the appropriate time to wake up
Bathe in
and the
flame.
appropriate time to turn over and go back to sleep. And I don't know exactly how that would work. Let's see. 2, 4, 4, and 4 would be 8, so I can't do that. That's wonderful.
for the wild.
Avenge me!
But yeah, I honestly don't know how that would work. And personally, from the insomnia point of view, I don't know if there ever is a right time, or if it's always just go back to sleep unless you wake up.
Join or die! Or
It's
both.
like I saw one article when I was googling it to see if maybe there was some reference there. It said, "Ask yourself, have you slept enough?" And I'm like, well, I don't even know, because it's so messed up right now. It's so messed up. It's like I'll fall asleep at 4 or 5 in the afternoon and then wake up around 10. So did I get 6 hours sleep then? And then I'll stay up till like midnight or 1 or 2 in the morning, and then I'll go to sleep
Move
again,
quickly.
and then I'll wake up at 10. So then I just get 14 hours, or because then the next night I might not go to sleep until 3 or 4 in the morning again. It's hard to track what 8 hours where did I get.
Who dares defy
Let's see. I could do this. Yeah, and that's the problem is like trying to figure out personally for me what the right time is. And I think the more accurate people just say turn around and go back to sleep. But then I'm not getting recording done then, and I'm certainly not getting recording done. I don't know if I've caught up a little bit or if I just stopped caring and paying attention. Not caring, that's the wrong thing, but it feels like I should be a lot more concerned about not even finishing off the end of this year. But right now I'm too focused on back pain and other things. Jeez, didn't make any progress at all. Didn't make any progress in what I was talking about either, which is fine. That's gonna be it for this recording. There's a real world example of why Hearthstone sucks. 30 minutes of playing, not a single victory. 40 minutes of playing, actually. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and watch every second of my videos. All of that helps out. If you want to support me further, you can click on my name, Rydo. On the right will be a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.